All right, all right, all right. Shalom, shalom, and shalom, Sister Deborah, prophetess. Oh, I got this kind of in the wilderness. And you know what? That's all right with me. Coming again on this devil platform with another message. And I will say this is a lovely evening in which the Most High, a higher has made. And I, Sister Deborah, shall and I will rest therein. There are some things taking place, and the topic of this message is boldness or bold. Boldness or bold. That's the topic of this message. But I like to just talk for a minute regarding some things that's actually taking place um, that I have noticed. And I truly do appreciate, really deep down inside, I appreciate how the Father in the heavens deals with me. I love his chastising. I love his discipline. I love his correction. I love his orders. I love his prophecy. I love his beginning. I love his end, and I love everything in between. I love the way he rumble. I love the way he show himself. I love the way that his power sails so swiftly. I just love everything about him. And with that being me saying that is I love the idea of how he deals with me as an individual. The way he deals with you is for you. Okay. But I am one to say that I embrace the way the Father, the creator of them all. I love the way he deals with me. And it kind of like taking me back. I think I told you all before where I used to can know things way ahead of time. But now he is making sure he inform me every day. And I've been really keeping an eye on this because I don't want it to be about my flesh. But I'm checking him out and I'm like, wait a minute now, everybody, you let me know. And I love it, Father. I love the way he he um he deals with me on letting me know. Uh he will come to me with a quiet, soft voice. To like let's say today. No, I don't even say today. Well, I say today, I say last night. He told me about this particular guy that was going to show up at the store today. And I did this. This is like the third time this has happened. I end up, when I saw that guy come through the door, I said, oh, wow. I said, let me tell you something. You don't come to this store without God Himself revealing to me that you're coming. Somewhere along the line, that man is not fully aware of the spiritual connection that the Father wants him to have. I understand there's something about him spiritual that the Father wants me to deal with him. He don't understand it. All he knows is this: there's a wise prophet, but he don't understand the power that's behind him feeling the way he feels, to where the comforter said, I care enough about him to where I send him where he can get help. Praise the mighty Yah. And if he's coming to you for help, I got to let you know I'm sending him. That's the sort of creator I have come to know since I was 4. See, that's what I try to explain to people. And it's no need in even trying to explain it to him, because today he had me saying things to people that was knocking everything out the ballpark. And I was like, and you're learning from them. You're learning like the one you're speaking to is learning. During that same time, the both of you all are learning. Even though you're the speaker, you know what that tells me? That my Father don't have no limits on how he teaches me, how he reveals things to me. If I have to reveal it to you while you opening up your mouth, I will do so. Don't talk to me about who he is. It's nobody on this Doing Devil platform, and I have the right to say that knows him in the spirit and truth of the light that leads you to the spirit and truth. And people, they think that, oh, I know it, I got it. You ain't got nothing. Until you still, we're in the midnight hour. And like I told people in the last 8 months, is he teaching you every day? Are you hearing his quiet voice in your spirit every day? Is he coming to you, communing with you every day? In your midnight hour, in your early morning, when you get, before you get out the bed, before you lay in the bed, he's saying something to you. I ain't talking about what you want him to say, what you want to say he said, or what you want to bring them feelings in what he said. I'm talking about him himself saying things to you that you know you didn't know. Come on now. Well, that's what happened to me today. A lot of it. And it was beautiful. Even when I said, okay, when I go back home, though, I'm going to talk about my topic. He said, wait a minute, throw in this and throw in that. I was like, I like that. I said, even though that's not the topic, he said, don't matter. Just go and throw it on in there. Here, throw this here too. So even with the topic of bold and boldness, he got me a couple of things up in here. And that's all right with me. Because if we're going to let him lead and guide us in this midnight hour, in the last hour running up on the minutes, we got to let him have full way doing it. Meaning he has to be in the car, in the driver's seat, okay, in the back seat, on the left passenger side, on the back seat, on the left side, and on the back seat, on the right, and in the middle. That's where you got to put him today. He can't just be in the driver's seat. He got to be in that darn car. You got to let it go and let him drive it. He knows which way it's going. If he go left, he knows. If he go right, he knows. If you want to back that car up, let him back it up. You don't know what you're dealing with. And you don't know who you're dealing with. That's where the problem is at. That's where the problem is at. Because he said something to me that knocked me off my rocker. I said, I feel that thing. I said, Father, I feel that thing. And it was about, when I was talking to these individuals, I was telling them about a lot of things that I hadn't even thought to talk to anybody about. And as I was speaking to them, it was more and more. And I was like, oh, I like this. Okay, I like this. I was being taught as I spoke. That's deep. It ain't really deep, but it's deep in the spiritual realm. Because that's not leaving you. It's not letting you just have the way. It's showing you learning. Stand down. I told y'all, when he in that door and car, sit your tail down. Sit on the floor in the back seat and let him have all 3 seats in the back. If your car got 2, if you want to look at it, that's 2. Let him have both seats in the back. Both seats in the front. Passenger side and the driver's side. And if you can, let him be in the trunk too. Let him drive that thing. So let's lead up to what he said. Let's kind of give you a taste of what I'm talking about. This man came into my store. He's about 67, but he looks like he's about 48. You see, he tried to swing like he's younger, you know. We make sure our first conversation is about the Most High Yah. And we make sure that before we say bye to each other, it's not saying bye to you, but let's end it with Yah. Start it with Yah and end it with Yah. So when he came in, I said, I'm gonna have to go and admit to you, you walked all up in here, but let me tell you, you ain't in here to buy. I said, the Father sent you here because he told me, this is like the 3rd time. When you come, he told me. And see, he don't come every month. He might skip 2 months and then he come. So that's why I know that this is the will of the Father that you come here. And that's when he began to tell me what he told me the last time he come, the issues. You know, the life issues, even of his family. His wife died, but he has a daughter. The issue he had with her, the issues that his sister and her two daughters have, the issue he have with his brother-in-law. And these issues are hardcore, real. They real. And he said something. I told him what it is. He said, after we did all this talking and what the Father had me to give him, when he was explaining that they want him to go out of town with them and look for his oldest daughter, his sister's oldest daughter that ran off to Detroit with a man that once tried to kill her. It's deep, y'all. It's deep. And then he was like, I just don't. I said, you get it. And let me tell you, I'm gonna tell y'all something. Let me tell y'all one thing. With this man, this boldness steps in. Ain't got no time. You ain't got no time. When the Spirit of Yah steps in and say, speak, and don't hold back. That's what you call boldness. That's what you call boldness. In Ezekiel yesterday when we was reading, he told them angels that he sent down as in human body to kill young, old. It says children, women, and men. Kill them all. But before he told them to kill them, he told them one thing. Mark minds. He said, mark every man that has cried out regarding all this abomination. That was in Ezekiel. That cry is a powerful word. That's them men that don't like what's going on and been crying out to the power of the Most High to do something. He said, you mark them men in their head. I like that. You know, you mark them. See, what people are doing nowadays, they embracing this thing, and they don't see nothing wrong with it. As long as it ain't mine, me and mine, I ain't got nothing to do with it. That's them. They doing it. But wait a minute. You know why those men are crying? Because even if it's not in their family, that what was going on was an abomination. That was in Ezekiel. He told them, kill them all. Kill them all. Young, old, women, children. The Most High say, kill them all, slay them, and put them out there so everybody can see. But don't mark. Before you do that, mark these men that have cried out. That's what boldness is. You don't give a rest behind about nobody's feelings and nobody's emotions. Boldness that spiritually rooted for the Most High sound just like Sister Deborah. And it's a sad thing. Yeah, because you know why? The way Sister Deborah talk and rumble, it pisses off a lot of people in the flesh. And I love it because he gave me boldness. He gave me that last night and said, this is going to be your topic. Study it. And I did pretty good today because I didn't know it was in there that many times. Him charging his. Pull out that boldness on them people. And don't you dare be ashamed. That's what he was talking about. But let me tell you what this man did. Those that he marked were men that cried out to the higher power to do something about this. He said, mark them. That means don't kill them. Mark them in their forehead. That's what he said. That's a sign of saying don't touch their body. You know, when the Job wanted to go after, not Job, when Satan wanted to go after Job, he told him don't touch that body. In a sense, don't touch it. You can touch the body, but the spirit don't come nowhere near it. That's that mark he put on Job. Letting the Satan know that you can touch this and this, that you think it's going to get him to curse me, but don't. It's a part you better not touch. That's Satan. That's Satan. That's Satan. Now, if he can hear what the Father says, where are the people at today? Now, watch this. So when this man comes in the store, I had to back what I had to teach yesterday onto him. And I'm going to tell y'all something. I realized and I learned today, people that own that thing, you can escape anything. And it's not, yeah, you can escape anything. But you got to own that thing. You got to own that thing. And owning that thing is stop trying to make y'all's prophecies a lie. Stop trying to make my creator of heavens and earth, the beginning and the end, my Yahuwah, a liar. We all are liars, but him, no, we ain't gonna, the Sister Deborah ain't gonna let you go there. We can call ourselves a liar, sinners, ugly, or whatever, but when we come down to him, Sister Deborah ain't gonna let you go there. Own that thing. Stop trying to make him the liar so we can walk around in our truth. Own that thing. And I'm going to show you how that interfered with this man. So he was coming in and he said something to me. And as I was ministering to him, he said, now, ooh, that helped me. That's what he said. He said, ooh, what you said just helped me. He said, I want you to just listen to this. He said, this one girl that I know, and I've known her for a little while now. He said, now, I think that he said 35. I think he said at 35, she done everything I have done and beyond. And I'm trying to figure out if she done everything and way beyond what I haven't done, and I'm 66, what do she have left, Deborah? I told her you didn't already live life. What? He said, Deborah, she don't have nothing left. I say, you know what you're talking about, sir? You talking what I've been sitting on YouTube trying to explain to the people. It's over. It's finished. There's nothing left. And I told them they don't get it. See, you might not get it either because you're seeing it in the natural way that's awesome. Because I think it's awesome that he's able to come to that, how would I say it, sight to see in the natural, but really it's something that rests in the spirit that has to answer to that which is in the natural. And he said, why is it I'm meeting these younger women in between 30 and 35? But this particular one, he said she was 35, but he's always saying this about them. He said, but this is how he broke it down today. He said, Deborah, they didn't live life already. They ain't got nothing else. They didn't live everything I wouldn't even dare step in and done. What else is there for them, Deborah? And I said, you know what? It's called, it is finished. It's over. That's what it's called. You see how you said they don't have nothing left? I have this thing on YouTube where I try to tell the people it's finished. They still don't get it. You see? Because it's supposed to pierce your spirit and then come out to your flesh. And when it has pierced your spirit, then Deborah know the way you communicate with her lets her know you get it in the spirit. So I'm sitting here telling him I'm going to have to break it down. When I finished breaking it down to him, he said, all my life, and I'm 66 years old, and I've been in the church, and I have been too many places in life. I ain't never heard nobody break it down so smooth and so simple. He said, it all makes sense. I said, the reason why you're looking at her life as something bad, because a lot of our men running around here thinking they doing good because they got a young woman on the side. Sister Deborah done told you these young women done went through more than they even think. You think you got a virgin? Baby, you ain't got what you think you got. You so anxious to get up in a virgin, and you don't even know what she got. You don't even know what she been doing. And he's saying that, why is it, Deborah, the young women then already live life? And here I am, 66, and ain't lived the whole life. He said, I done traveled all over the world, but these young women now, they've been everywhere. They done everything, Deborah. They can show me some things. He said, Deborah, they ain't got nothing left. I said, I know that. Ain't nothing left. And that's how Yah say it's finished. You ain't got nobody but him. And you better hope that he will hear your cry or hear your voice, because he said it's finished. See, we thinking it's about us having good time on this earth and having it our way, according to our feelings and our emotions. But this man is saying, so wait a minute, Deborah. So what you were saying is it's finished. He said, can you kind of break that down? Because that word finish you talking about, I can almost feel that. You doing right, you're going to feel it. Because when I finish telling you, I didn't say it like that to him, but I said, I'm saying it to you all. I said, you doing right, you're going to feel it, because it's spirit and it is truth. And the truth of the matter is this. They didn't went and done everything we still ain't done, but they didn't done it. They ain't got nothing to look forward to in life. And I know a lot of y'all, oh, no, not mine, not my kid. But baby, you just don't know. They are drinking and smoking and doing all kind of dating and partying and having a good time. And it's really not good time, because they sad and they're miserable because they already had good time. They were doing good time at 18, 19, and 20. They are worn out. So they turn to smoking and drinking, and especially drinking. Why? Because they ain't got nothing else. They ain't got nothing else left. A young woman, 25 in this day in time, then had more sexual partners in Sister Deborah's whole life. About 5 to 10 times more. 5? No, I ain't gonna say 5. I'm gonna say 10 times more. It's a hobby. It's just a hobby or something to do. Oh, I don't. It's nothing. Everything they do, it's no happiness in it, because they done done it already. They done been there. They done done that, and they go continue to do it as if it becomes normal. It becomes, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with drinking? What's wrong with smoking? What's wrong with partying? What's wrong with dating? What's wrong with messing with several men at one time, or men messing with 20 women in one time? They made it the norm. In their early young life, he says, there's nothing left, though, Deborah, because it's finished, bro. That's why it ain't nothing left. It's over. And he said, can you explain that to me? Because when you say it's over, it almost feels good just to hear that word, because that makes sense regarding what I'm talking about. I said, when I finish breaking it down, it's going to make sense to you. And I broke it to the lowest. And when I finished, that man was in the store like this here. He said, oh my goodness, it makes so much sense now. I said, yep, it makes a lot of sense. He left out of that store feeling so much better. He gave me the card. I think I have it. And he wants me to, his sister is her business. He gave me her card so that I can call her and console her. He said, I need you to please talk to my sister. You know why? Let me tell you something. There are people that are servants of the Father. They're seeking the light that Father is putting before them, so that they can know what has actually happened, which is called spirit and truth of the whole matter. They're tired of seeing this here and not having the answer to it, not trying to put pieces together. Baby, I don't care what kind of piece you try to put together. You need spirit and truth. Somebody who's going to tell you spirit and truth. People say they won't. He said, they say they see, Deborah. They cannot see. They say they hear. They cannot hear. But I thank him for the spirit of discerning. Because I thought the spirit of discerning was something You can discern in your presence. I have been on this devil platform, and the Father had already given me the ability to discern people that comes on my live chat, and they don't even know I knew that. They don't know the connect. They don't even know that. But I'm just telling you, this discerning gift from the Most High is not something to discern people in my presence. No, it's people in general, whether it's good or whether it's bad, whether it's righteous or whether it's unrighteous. I want you to have the heads up. I sent you on that journey, and you best bet I gave you, said the Father, the tools to use while on the journey that I've sent you on. And I thank him for that, because what is kind of scary is he now let me know things really before it is before me. And I'm like, wait a minute, this is getting kind of scary. And then I was discussing it with someone earlier today, and they said, but how did you? I began to tell them what they were doing, and it was like, but that was yesterday. But I don't care. See, it was a time where it was maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, 6 months, a year later. But now it's like when I was a little girl. Instant. This is going to happen, Deborah. This person is coming to you. This person is coming to you. Or this is about to happen to this person. Deborah, this is going to happen to this person. What is a person to do with that outside of giving my Father the glory and the honor? Because you don't have to do that. But it's something about the way you feel about me because of who you are, not who I am. I ain't got no sense, but who he is that causes him to do that. He said something to me very powerful today. And I was like, I see that, Father. I see that, because it shows me that he is letting me know that you have been on it. You have been on it. You've been nailing it all this time. And I stood back and let you do it until you were able to nail it. And you've been nailing it. And I was like, you mean to tell me all this time I've been thinking this here for the last 7, 8 months, it's been nailed to the wall? He said, yes, you nailed it. You conquered it. You fully understand it. And it makes sense. This man was going through, I'm going to tell y'all something, really sad issues. I mean, y'all, it sounds simple, but it's not. None of it. He's coming to this little old lady at this store that if he don't know nobody, he know if I could just get over there, she's going to give me the words so I can run on. He needed to town to find his niece, which is 34, going to Detroit with this one man who tried to kill her once before. And she left out and ran away again. And the mother and them ain't seen her in 2 weeks. So they begging him to go with them to do the hunt. And he said, but I don't want to go. I don't want to be in that. I said, but look, just tell them that you can't go. And they might be offended, but they might not. If you just honest with them and just tell them that, you're not feeling it. You don't want to go. He said, but I don't know how to do that. Yes, you do. You know how. Just say it. And say it and mean it. Because I realized something today. I learned this from the Father. Deborah, if they don't own that thing, they just out there. So he even telling me, I don't care what you say. When you ain't trying to lead nobody to you. You've been on that devil platform and you ain't leading nobody to you. And what you say, if they don't own that thing, they have no part in me. When I broke that thing down to that man, I was explaining to him how even if you don't go with your sister and they trying to go to Detroit to try to find her, find out where she at, to try to get her, to see if something happened, and you say you don't want to go, own that thing. Own it. Take that situation and see it where it's at. And then when you own it, then you go before the Father and tell him, own it. He wants this mess. And stop running around here thinking we better than someone else. Oh, it ain't gonna happen to me. I ain't going through that. Ain't it? Own that. That's how you get delivered. In case you didn't know that. That's how that individual get delivered. By owning that thing. Don't be trying to sit around here and try to make Yah a lie in his prophecies and what he told us going to happen and when it's going to happen. We running around here ain't owning nothing. We ain't owning nothing. But it makes sense for me because he said in Genesis chapter 1, verse 26, they ain't own that thing. And if they ain't own that thing is the power, Deborah. Denying the power. They've been denying the power since the Genesis chapter 1. Own that thing. And what you're doing is you owning what the Father have revealed unto you, showed you, taught you, that comforter, the one that teaches you, the one that show you things to come, the one revealed to you the things that is to come, and those things that you what is that? Bring back your remembrance, teaching you, you own that thing, and stop running around here thinking you got the power to rule it. You are the authority over it all. You the one that everybody need. You the one that everybody need to get. No, you own the fact that he is the beginning and the end and the overall in anything you see, you think, and you feel. He's still gonna rule over it. So let's go there. Let me go back to this man in his store. When he left out, he was feeling much better. Because guess what I gave him? I said, what you seeing? Let me show y'all right quick. I'm gonna show you how I broke that thing. I said, you see, he said, but why is our children, they adults, why is things the way that it is? I said, because we stood in the face of the Most High God and we told him he was a liar. I don't care about Yeshua HaMashiach coming and telling us what shall come upon us. I don't care about Revelation. I really don't care about none of it because I don't trust it to lead me and guide me. So I don't care about none of it. I said, but what happened is when you see those children and you're trying to piece together, each time you come, it's about the children. And yes, they grown and old, the children are, but it don't matter. What we did is we denied yesterday. And because we denied yesterday, today has to be worse than yesterday. Because we denied yesterday. And I began to tell him, I said to him, see, everything comes down the bloodline of the man. So what if the woman owned that thing? It ain't going to stop the curse and the curses coming down that bloodline of that man. That's why y'all never say the sins of your foremother. It's always your forefather. Okay? And he never say the curse was because of your foremother. He said your forefather. The reason why we refuse and reject the 100 times 100 reject the way he created it and orchestrated it. And then when he spoke on it, we reject that too. Why do they perish, Father? Why did you say that they perish? Deborah, I told you, due to lack of knowledge, because they reject. It's rejecting it, denying it. So I was explaining to him, so you see your daughter, I said, you see your nieces now that's giving your sister a hard time, and your brother-in-law dying of cancer, and the two daughters, 30 and 34, they don't care. They just out here doing all kind of things, and he's dying of cancer. I said, you want me to tell you where that come from? See, the forefathers and the fathers, they never accepted the things that was in the dark, meaning accepted what was in the days. Instead, They look at today and say, why are they doing that? Oh, they so bad. Oh, these people dying. They did this and they doing this. These kids today, babies having babies. Oh, these kids today is off the chain. It's so bad. These kids are so bad. But I told them, I said, that's what you call a lie from the pit of hell. I say, I was a young woman at the age of 32, and the Father told me, Deborah, as you live on, it will and shall be worse because of yesterday that was hidden. Yesterday made me a liar. Yesterday lied on me, Deborah. Yesterday hid who I was. Yesterday hid who I am. Yesterday it has also hid who I'm going to be in the days to come. Yesterday rejected me. Yesterday dishonored me. Yesterday did all these things you see today. But it was just hidden. And when it was hidden, it made them feel that they can accept it all back then. Because as long as we can keep it in the dark, no one would know what it really looked like in the light. But the Father said something. He said the day would come when that which was, that's past tense, forefathers and fathers back in the days, and these days of our days too, that which was in the dark shall come to the light. And I said, brother, that's what you see. So when you see these children that's grown now, cutting up from the floor, it's a product of yesterday that was hidden. That was hidden. And because the Father never owned that thing. You ever heard of generational curse? That helps you out a little bit better. Generational curse. You 3 to 4 generations, and it never stopped. It's no end. I had to break that down to him. So what you were saying that that's what he said, me and him. When we came up, they wasn't doing this and they doing this here now. And here it is at a young age, they done everything we done. You know why? They summing it up to the end. That's why. And the reason why he set it up, hear me now, hear me now, hear me now, hear me now. This is a blessing to everybody at the sound of Sister Deborah's voice. The reason why we're seeing it is because it's a product of all that was in the dark, in the days that was hidden. We're seeing it now. We're seeing it now, but it existed then. But we are coming to the light where it's ending. The end days, it shall come to the light. So we're seeing this. So what we have to do, we got to own yesterday. Call it is. Call it what it was. Call it where you can get it cleaned up. And that is the days to come. But you can't. Because there's such a heavy denial of the forefathers and our fathers and our men of what really was going on. So what did he do? He allowed you to see it in the generations to come. How ugly you were back in the days. This is what it looked like when you hid it all those years. You see, in the end days, it's going to come to the light. All that wicked and evil. And guess what I told him? I said, do you ever wonder what he mean when he says it's going to be like the days of Noah? When was that? That was way back, wasn't it? I said, the days where the judge, that homosexual stuff. I said, when was that? Back in the days of Lot. He said what to us in these days? In the end days, it's going to be like the days of Noah and the days of who? Lot. I said, but I'm going to show you why our black men reject spirit and truth. That they'll turn that around and talk about the days of Noah, and switch it so many ways to make it look like it ain't something serious. And guess what? It is serious. The Father said, I got it happen. And in the days when the fathers and the mothers going to see it for what it was hidden from. Because when you get to talking about Genesis chapter 6, back in the days of Noah, I'm going to tell y'all something. There are trillions, now I ain't going to say trillion, I'm exaggerating when I say it like that. I'm going to say Millions of people lying about Genesis chapter 6. There's lies in there to cover up every imagination of a man's thought was evil continually. That's why he destroyed Noah. What do you mean, Father? Tell them it didn't have nothing to do with a giant. If every thought of a man's was evil continually, where does it say every thought of the giants was continually? They lied. And this is what I had to explain to him. I said, didn't it say it's going to be like the days of Lot? You see that homosexual? Ain't that what you're seeing today? Is that not what you're seeing today? See, those were yesterday. And in the process, if those happening yesterday, read them, we still lying about it. You got people who've been preaching y'all for 50 years, still lying about the days of Noah, still lying about the days of Lot. Right here today. You can't say, well, these young people are having babies after baby. These young women getting pregnant, having baby after baby. Baby, let me tell you something. You are alive from the pit of hell. Back in the days, and not too far, in our days when my mother and my mother had 16 children. Most of them had them by 3 or 4 different men. And now one of them took care of them. My mother had all of us by my father. But I'm just saying, her mother, my daddy's mother, and on and on. That's the truth. But then you say, I said, well, okay, how old was you, Mama, when you had your first one? Oh, I was 13. I just turned 13. I got pregnant. When did you marry Daddy? We got married at 13. That's my oldest brother. My mother and him, he would have been 68. I think something like 68. That was my oldest brother. Wait a minute now. You mean you was 13? So why y'all old people talking about today, these young girls having babies after baby, and you all was doing it way back then? Lying. You see, that's what the Father said. But see, they thinking they got away. They went into their grave and it was okay. No, it made it worse for those that's here today. They're going to blame today on today and not realize it was a hidden back in the days. They can see LBGYK, whatever. And that was going on way back in the Bible days. In Judge and in the days of Lot. Was how far is that? All the way at the beginning. Here he is, all the way at the end. It's going to be the days, Deborah, it's going to be like the days of Lot. So when I see it then, the way he said it happened at Lot, doing Lot, I see it now. The end. So why do I need to lie about it? If I see the things that people are doing like the days of Noah, every imagination of a thought of a man was wicked and evil. So why would I stand on this doing devil platform and tell you that's a lie? When I had to break that down to that man, I ain't never in my life, I say you ain't gonna ever in your life hear it again. Because we living on lies and we trying to make y'all the lie. And Satan the truth. He's standing behind walls, laughing and grinning. Yeah, I told you, I might not have got Job to curse you, but woo, I'm doing good in this last days. Lying on my Father. And we the lie. These men won't own up to nothing. They want to teach and preach to these people about what's going on and they doing this and they doing it. You can't say nothing till you own that thing of yesterday. You can't say nothing until you own it. And it's too late. You can't even own it now. You want me to tell you why? He didn't mark his. That means you ain't got a chance in the world to do nothing because he knew you wouldn't. So when I'm telling this to this man, what I liked, y'all wasn't sending him to me because I don't know what I'm talking about. That man came, what was about 40 miles. What would it look like him coming to me? He didn't come in there to buy nothing. What does it look like for y'all to say, Deborah, he's coming? I said, he coming again. Yeah. But when he walked through that door, first thing came to my mind, oh, he coming with the same problem. And it was. But what do? I open up my spirit unto him and let him tell me what the issue was. And I already knew what it was, y'all. But I had to let him get it out. You have to be a good hearer before you a good speaker. Shut your mouth in here. So when he's sending this man to me, I'm like, okay, Father, everything you're doing pretty quick. Things are moving pretty fast. And that's what that man said too before he left. He said, but Deborah, do you see everything moving fast? It's like it's no space. It better move fast. Satan know his time is up. He know what time it is. You don't. That's what's scared. That's what's scary and sad. He know what time it is. He got sense enough to do what he need to do. Or you doing what you do. So I give the Father all glory and honor for that. I give him all honor and glory for that. Now I have to go to Revelation 11 and verse 3. Why? Because he told me when I was doing this boldness and this bold, he told me I need you to wrap around Revelation a little bit and say something to really put some power in what you're saying in Revelation chapter 11 and verse 3. I mean, or the 3 to 11. He wants you to understand something that's in there today. But with this guy, I'm gonna first thing tomorrow around about probably afternoon, I'm gonna call his sister and I'm gonna minister to her, but I'm gonna let the Father minister through me, because my daughter ain't missing, but hers is. So that means y'all feel her, I can feel her as a mother, and I can feel what she feels like, because I don't have to step in her shoes. In spirit and truth, you can step in a person's situation and feel them from the inside out. You don't have to feel them from the outside, but I feel her from the inside. But on the outside, as a mother, I can feel her both ways, because this thing is real. But the point about this man, I wanted to break down to him why you see the chaos today. Because yesterday kept lying on my father. Yesterday kept blaming him. Yesterday kept denying him. Yesterday did everything against the Most High or higher, to where he said, I back that thing up and I'll back it down. And that's what he doing. He backed that thing back into yesterday and he bringing it down. That's what he's doing, in case you didn't know it. He backed that thing back up to the days of Noah. He backed that thing like until the days of Lot. What? He backed that thing up to all kind of stuff. Go read Revelation. He backed that sucker up. And what did he do? He brought it down. Brought that judgment. Brought that fire on his feet. Slammed it down. You want to mess with him? He finna mess with you. How you like him now? Because he's going to mess with you in a way you ain't never been messed with. That's what you call boldness. In case y'all didn't know that. Many of you don't know it, because you get caught up in your feelings because somebody said it a way. You better get what's in it, spirit and truth, and lead away. Don't ever leave away from nobody saying something based on how the person sounds. You better grab spirit and truth out of it and run with it. Okay? Now, he wants me in Revelation 11, verse 3 through 11. Now, that was not part of mine, but it is mine. Because if that's what he wants, all I want to do is be obedient unto him. Okay? Now, I know where he's coming from, because that was another part that I ministered to someone today. And that's why I was learning also in this, what he was showing me, because I didn't take it all yesterday. So when in Revelation chapter 11, verse 3, and I will give power unto 2 witnesses. Heavens is releasing the power to whom he want to. He don't have to answer to you, and he don't have to answer to me. And that's our problem. We think he got to do it our way because some man done told you he have to do it this way. Oh, no, he got to line up with this. He can't line up with this book, y'all. You know how many men didn't tamper and smeared in this book. He He got to line up with who he is. All power, and he is the Ruach HaKodesh. He don't have to line up with nothing. He only has to line up with what he is, his word, not your word in the way man have trapped you in this book. This book can't tell a story until the Ruach HaKodesh come to tell you it. That's how lost people are. You can't read this book and get it. The Ruach has to come and break it in you and break it out of you, in case you didn't know it. But you don't know nothing about that. Because if you had the Ruach, you would. But if you don't have the Ruach, you run around here thinking you got what you got because you got it. Okay. Revelation chapter 11, verse 3. And I was given power unto two angels. No, and I will give power unto two angels. No, I will give power unto two witnesses. And they shall prophesy 1,060 days, clothed in sackcloth. Verse 4. These are the two olive trees and the two candlesticks. I like that candlesticks. Standing before Ahia on the earth. We all up in Revelation. We're going toward the end. And the Father is telling us that there's going to be two witnesses that he's sending down with power. See, you see how you can deny the power? You'll never know what it is. Because people deny the power when they deny Genesis chapter 1 and verse 26. They deny the power when they don't know the difference between the Son of Man and the Son of Yah. They deny the power when they don't know who the power is. They deny the power when they don't know Hamashiach is the head of the cornerstone. They deny the power when they don't understand Hamashiach is the head of the body. What do we need his head for if he's not the power? You see? None of them really knew the power. And something else the power holds is his name. That's why he keeps saying his name. They don't know it because they think it's in what they say and not what he said through the Ruach HaKodesh. Now, listen to this. He said in 11, Revelation chapter 11, verse 4, these are the two olive trees and the two candlesticks standing before Ahia on the earth. These are two witnesses that the Most High is going to see. Now, it ain't going to be over here in this country. This ain't going to be on the United States. No, this is not what it's going to be because United States don't realize. And I'm going to tell you something. The Hebrews believe just like the heathens. They're matching side by side with the heathens. They really are. I know they tell y'all whatever they want y'all to hear to make you want to believe that they all these. No, they matching right side by side, right with them. Okay, now watch this here. In verse 5, and man would hurt them, fire proceed out of their mouth. Do y'all understand that? Fire proceed out of their mouth and devour their enemies. And if any man would hurt them, he must in this manner be killed. I want y'all to understand this. Understand now. Watch this here. This is not, I gave y'all a little of this yesterday, but I'm showing you how the Spirit of the Most High told me to route back. Okay. Verse 6. These have power, Deborah. And I want you to make sure you mention that. These have power. This is verse 6. To shut the heaven. To shut the heavens. These two. They already have fire come out their mouth to devour. And not only will it devour, it will kill every last one. Okay. Why? Because he said Deborah, I gave him power. Okay. Now watch this here. Okay. He said, go back up. He want me to take y'all back up to verse 4. And it says, these are the two olive trees and the two candlesticks standing before Ahia on the earth. He said, what I forgot to tell y'all, I'm showing y'all how he works with me. He's telling me what I didn't expound on was the candlestick. Candlestick represent light, standing, tall and firm. You mess with me. They're going to be light. So the whole world going to see them. They're going to know who they are. They're going to see them. You think this is how he want me to, I see where you're going with this, Father. You all out there, if you think for 1 minute this is Lottie land, or this is where you get to really just teach it and go on back. That's how the flesh of the Hebrew Israelites. They just, they teach, go on to somewhere like this don't mean nothing. But let me show you something. These two witnesses, not only are they going to have power, they're going to be candlesticks. They're going to be lit up so the world can see. Standing bold and firm. That's what it said in 4. 2 candlesticks standing before Ahia. Standing before Ahia. Standing before Ahia on the earth. How you like him now? Tell me my Father don't have the all power. Now watch this here. And he said how they can hurt by fire coming out of their mouths. They can devour their enemies. And look at it, just look at it. And if any man will hurt them, he must in this manner be killed. Now we go to 6. I took you back to 4 because he wanted me to expound on the candlestick. That represents the fact they're gonna be so noticeable around the whole world. Not just because of technology on the news, on the media, where they're gonna see them and the whole world gonna see it, but they're gonna be noticed because they're gonna be lit up with the power of my Father. He's gonna have them lit up. Okay, now watch this here. In verse 6, these have power to shut the heavens, that it rain not in the days of their prophecies. And have power, look at all this power y'all giving them, and have power over waters to turn them to blood, and to smite the earth with plagues as often as they will. You see what Ahia released? These 2 prophets. Okay. These 2 witnesses. They 2 witnesses. I'm going to tell you what let me make sure. I'm going to have to sum this up. Now watch this here. Verse 7. And when they shall have finished their testimony. See, you ain't got no testimony. Sit your tail down and shut your ugly mouth. Don't try to judge nobody if you don't have no testimony to give. Because you ain't done nothing for y'all. You ain't even know who you are in him. He ain't called you with no holy calling. He ain't gave you your position. Ain't gave you nothing. You walking around here trying to override somebody who know who they are in him. You sick. Okay? Now, in verse 7. No. Often as they please. In verse 7. And when they shall have finished their testimony. They mission from Yah. The beast that ascended out of the bottomless pit. Where did it come from, Father Yah? So I can tell these people, because Father, they've been up and they've been down. They don't know they left from they right. They think you playing. They don't even grip the fact that you got a beast from the bottomless pit. They didn't get it yesterday, ain't gonna get it today, Father. I know it. So why you got me routing it is for that one person on this here platform that's in this chat that's listening. He's talking to you. He's talking to you. Now listen to this. Verse 7, Revelation chapter 11, verse 7. And when they shall have finished their testimony, they come down here to do the work of the Father. Watch this here. The beast that ascended out of the bottomless pit. Wait a minute, hold up. I got an issue. No, I ain't got no issue. I'm trying to act like I'm y'all. I got an issue. Why did the beast have to come out the bottom? The one that had to come out the bottom of the pit had to deal with them. Because the power that the Father had given him override the whole world. If Russia's in their army and China joined Russia to come after them too, every last one of them would die, including the president. They don't see it. See, y'all don't know my Father. Y'all done messed him up and messed him down in your sick minds. You don't know him. They get on this devil platform talking some yang doodle day. You don't know him. Because if you do, you'll know that's the type of power you don't want to mess with. Even the world know not to mess with. But you the Hebrew Israelites running around here thinking you got a key to the kingdom. And you ain't even got a key to your own house. Because you done lost it too many times. That shows you where you at here. Okay? Now, in verse 7, and when they shall have finished what their mission was, which is called their testimony, that they were sent down here to say and do, the beast that ascended out of the bottomless pit shall make war against them and shall overcome them and kill them. Tell me, my Father ain't got no power. You's a fool, and you're going to be a fool. He's letting the beast out of the bottomless pit take down the witness. Woo! Why, Deborah? Why? Because Russia couldn't do it. Europe couldn't do it. China couldn't do it. Iran, Israel, German, British, they couldn't do it. Why? Because these witnesses, they power that they had would have wiped them out. Go back up to 5. Read! Know my power. Not my power. Know y'all's power. So you can get it and realize who you think you dealing with. See, y'all think y'all know who he is. You don't know nothing about him till you learn who his right hand is. And once you learn that right hand in the Torah, you'll know who he is in the Old, in the New Testament, and in today, especially today. You won't be trying to challenge that. And that's what people do. They challenge. He said, what? Denying the power. What did he say in Hosea? I think it was chapter 4 and verse 6. My people perished. There they died, Deborah. Why did they die? Because they reject. And on top of the reason why they reject is because they deny it. That's what it says. And Deborah, guess what? I'm going to deny them and their children. So you wonder, you run around here, and that's way back in Hosea. So you wonder why today is the way that it is. Did not Sister Deborah just tell you because y'all have rejected everything my Father have said and done? And then walk on this darn platform and talk about we the true Jews? The true fool. That's who you are. Now, let's get to 7. And when they had finished their testimony, the beast that ascended out of the bottomless pit shall make war against them and shall overcome them and kill them. That's what the Father did. Okay, hey, beast, hey, I know you come up. I'll let you up. I sent an angel down to let you out. I want you to go over there and take out those 2 witnesses. The world couldn't take them out. The world couldn't bother them 2 witnesses. They had all the power with them. What fool to go? And see, Russia, China, Europe, Israel, British, German, all them knew where y'all at today. They know not to mess with those 2 witnesses. They know that already today because they're waiting for them 2 witnesses. They're going to send y'all some fake ones, which I heard they sent already, but they're going to send you some faker ones. Oh, they're going to send you because they're trying to get you confused with the mission of revelation. Now watch this here. Verse 8. And their dead bodies shall lie in the streets of the great city. You hear that word great? That's letting you know where he going to have them at. It's going to be considered the great city. And I ain't talking the United States. It's going to be gone. The great city. So you see what I'm saying? Wanting you to know they in the firepower. I'm sending my witness, Deborah, right in the midst of the firepower. You want to think you bad? Tell you what, I'm sending 2. Try them. Have you tried my 2 witnesses? I ain't gonna try them. Satan said, okay, that's it. I ain't messing with them. I'm a whole man's off now, Father. Y'all, I'm a whole man's out. Mine ain't coming after them two witnesses. You think I don't know what you're doing with them two witnesses? The power they have overrides mine. That's what Satan say. He already said it to the Father. Those two witnesses that's coming, I ain't going to mess with them. I ain't gonna send no army out. All the firepower, you sending them right in the midst. You're gonna send them two witnesses in the midst of the great city. We ain't gonna bother. We ain't going after. You got to do this on your own. Father said, come on up. Come on, beast. You came out the bottomless pit. Get them. Bring them down so we can do this thing the way I orchestrated. So what do the beast do? He kills them. Watch this here. And their bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified. Going down to 9. And they of the people and kindreds and tongues and nations shall see the dead bodies 3 days and a half, and shall not suffer their dead bodies to be put in a grave. Now you look at that and you think that they're really partying because of what they see. And it says, and make merry. You see that and you thinking they having no, I got to go back to that. Let's go to verse 10. And verse 10, and they that dwell upon the earth shall rejoice over them and make merry, and shall send gifts one to another. One to another, because the two prophets, they were prophets. They was more than just witness. They was prophets. Tormented them. Now they switched from saying they was two witnesses, but they were true prophet. And what did those prophets do to the world? Listen to it, y'all. You got to understand this here. Let's go back to 10. That's why I say, Sister Deborah be on this devil platform, and I can already feel you don't get it. But I don't care. Y'all said, Deborah, check out that one I got up in there. Check that one out. Keep talking. That one I get it. So watch this here. In verse 10, in verse 9, he said, and they of the people and kindreds, all different tongues and nations. Now you talking about the world. Watch this here. Shall see their dead bodies 3 days and a half, and shall not suffer their dead bodies to be put in the graves. Now watch this here, verse 10. And they that dwell upon the earth, the whole earth, now watch this here, shall rejoice over them and make merry, and shall send gift one to another, because these two prophets tormented them. They tormented them that dwell on the earth. You see them prophets? They tormented them. You know why? Because they couldn't move. Satan, them and his demons and the world, and they wicked with him, they was at a standstill. They couldn't even move. Too much power. They couldn't do nothing. But I want you to understand what's going on. Verse 11. And after 3 days and a half, the spirit of life from Yah entered into them, and they stood up on their feet, and great fear fell upon them which saw them. What you see that what the Father just did? You see what he just did? Now I want to tell y'all something about this. When Sister Deborah see this, I don't see it like y'all see it. I don't care about the way y'all see it. But when I see this like this here, what I'm saying is the Father didn't set order that this here come to pass. What did I tell y'all last year? All I want to see is the two witnesses. That's what I want to see, because I knew the power that was going to be in them two witnesses going to shut this world down, the whole earth. You know why they glad? And they see them. You know, wait a minute. First, I'm going to tell you what Father taught me today. He said, Deborah, do you know why they left them in the streets and didn't bury them? You know why, Deborah? And I said, because they didn't want to bury him, didn't want everybody to see him. He said, no. The power that those two witnesses had was just as great when they were living as they were dead. The world wasn't going to mess with them. So it wasn't that they couldn't have put them in the ground, but they were afraid of the power that they had. They was like, I ain't finna touch them. Stay away from them. Let's party hardy. Let's marry. Let's send each other gifts. But y'all leave now. They tormented us. No, the power that they came with, dead or alive, I ain't going touching them. That's what the world was thinking. So they didn't leave them there. They didn't. Now, hear what I'm saying. They didn't. Their intent wasn't to leave them there dead. They wasn't going to touch him. They didn't touch him when he was living. And they saying that what he's son down here is power. I ain't going to touch him when they living or dead. Haven't y'all ever heard of when they said dead or alive? That's real. And I me myself, I agree with them. Even me. If I was in the midst, I wouldn't touch him either. Not this type of power. No, you don't touch. This type of power, you don't touch. Or how you say, hey, beast from the bottomless pit, come on here. What I'm going to do, I'm giving you the power to bring them down. Deborah, I'll raise up power to bring anybody down. Because I don't want to build you up, but I tear your tail down at the same time. That's the sort of creator I know. That's the one I fear. And watch this here. So he was explaining to me the reason why they left him on the ground the 3 days. Because they were afraid to even come near him. Because they had such great power that never has entered onto the earth like that. For them to see. The whole world to see. So it put a standstill to where we ain't going to touch them live. We ain't going to touch them dead. So they laid there. And that was the mission of the Father. They were honoring also the fact that the one that sent them down here with this power, they the true power. We're going to leave them right where they at. We ain't going to touch that one that gave these men this type of power. We better not touch them. See, that's what y'all messed up, Hebrew Israelites. You never trusted my Father. Knew who his right hand was when you was in this land of your captive for 400 years. You never turned to the power because you never knew it. Because you were wanting people to know what you know. You become muscle-headed, stiff-necked, rebellion, and disobedient. And now you're in a state of murdering and whoremongering and what is that, abomination and all this other stuff. And you thinking he's coming to get you. Now, he wants you to know that the reason why they didn't take their body is because he had a plan to raise them back up, to bring fear back in. So just imagine, look how sweet the Most High is. He said, Deborah, they laid there 3 days. I brought life to them. And guess what? That brought extra fear on the people. They looking like, oh, wait a minute. These the two we thought was dead because they tormented us. They had this great power and they up again. The people about to mess on their tail for the rest of their life. Non-stop, year after year, crapping. Because it was the fact that he had risen them two men that the whole world was afraid of. He had risen them back up. Say, how you like me now? Come on up here. See, that was all orchestrated by heavens before the foundation of the world. And those that are the elect servants of the Most High, they see into this and see how it supports them. And like me, it supports me in understanding who I'm messing with when I'm dealing with the Creator that loves me. This is handiwork. See, I don't see what y'all see. I see my Father in this here. I see him all up in here. Because when you go talking about, and the beast ascended out of the bottomless pit, shall make war with them. Ain't no beast can't mess with that unless they've been given the authority to take them out. And the way they were taken out. And they're thinking, they getting glad, they happy. But guess what? Y'all raised them up again. And they become just as more fearful than they were the first time. But not fearful enough to turn to Yah. Why? Because they already bought out to Satan. See, they can't turn from Satan and go to Yah. They already sold out. So when y'all running y'all butts around here talking about, oh, I know this, I got this, and I got this, you better check yourself out. Because he's Martez. All right? He's Martez. So I don't know who you got. And if he Martez, They come and talking like Sister Deborah. Now I'm going to get to my lesson to give you the insight of those who speaks on y'all's behalf. And I had no idea it was in here this many times. Okay, now we're going to start with Acts. In the book of Acts, chapter 4. Now we're finna go to where Sister Deborah be talking. Okay, you want to know why Sister Deborah talked the way she talked? I'm getting ready to get there. Okay, chapter 4. Do you think that Sister Deborah should talk to ease your emotions and your feelings? You lost out. You lost out. I remember being like in my 20s, and I used to make videos, not make video tapes and stuff. And I used to say, "Well, why do I sound like I'm squeaking and I'm loud, Father?" I said, and you know what y'all believe? I have in time past prayed for the Most High to teach me how to speak in a way that is acceptable. You know what he told me? I like the way you speak. I like it. He said, have I not chastised you? I said, all the time. Have I not disciplined you, Deborah? All the time. Have I not corrected you? All the time. Don't you think by now you've been whining about me, changing your tone? What makes you think I'm going to change it? And I'm afraid to change it if I felt it was needed. I need that. That's what you call boldness. You see? And because you don't have those on this devil platform speaking spirit and truth with the light backing them up, they can't speak boldness. They got to, and it says so and so. Go to the next. And it says this, and he's going to bless you and you're going to prosper this day. And next week he's coming to get you. Nah, ain't no boldness in this. I want to tell you why. As a young person, I always heard that at the end, he's sending his bold ones out. I like that. When I used to hear that, I'm telling you something all the time. The bold ones are sent at the end because they got more to handle. They got more to deal with. And I always told people when that must be, he saved the best for last. The hair being the tail being the head, that's going to be reversed. He saved his best for last. Okay. When we go to Acts chapter 4 and we go into verse 13, we're gonna stick on Acts chapter 4. We're gonna go to verse 13 first. In verse 15, 16, and then we're gonna swing to 29 and swing to 31. So we're gonna start with Acts chapter 4, verse 13, and it reads: Now when they saw the boldness of Peter and John, and perceived that they were unlearned and ignorant men. Why? Because Sister Deborah is ignorant because she's speaking the way she's speaking, okay? And unlearned. Now, we the boldness one. We the one that's supposed to talk the way we talk. See, y'all don't get it because you never got it. And that's when you have the Ruach HaKodesh, it will teach you these things about those that he has sent out to work for this end days. Okay, now watch this, verse 13. We in Acts chapter 4, verse 13. And now when they saw the boldness of Peter and John and perceived that they were unlearned and ignorant. Because what? Why did they say that they consider that? Why did they say that? Because they were speaking bold. See, I told y'all the way y'all see things in the world is really off the chain. But it need be. Because if he gonna prophesy, Deborah, I want you to pay attention. There's going to be deceivers. Yeshua said it's going to be deceivers. The prophet said it's going to be deceivers in the last days. Okay. Now, if they're going to be deceivers, I got to give them a lot of those they can deceive. It makes sense. Why have deceivers without the people they can deceive? Makes sense. So here in 13, it says, and now they saw the boldness of Peter and John and perceived that they were unlearned and ignorant men. They marveled and they took knowledge of them that they had been with Yeshua. But see, the boldness has a place that throws people off. I look at it, this is how I tell the kids. It's not how mama said. You got to take what somebody say and weigh it. You have to weigh it. In this day and time, especially in days, weigh that thing. Is it righteous or is it unrighteous? If it's unrighteous and she's speaking the way she's speaking, she's ugly. She's ugly. But if you speaking bold and you speaking righteous is the two-edged sword, in case y'all didn't know it. It comes one way or it goes another. You see? It'll get you one way or the other. That's what righteous is. Okay? Now watch this here. When you say boldness, it is outspokenness, confidence, fearless, freedom of speech. Okay? That's what boldness is. It's not something where you sit and play with people. Oh, when it says so and so, and this is what it means. I know it. Many people, that's how they live. That's how they believe. And that's how they feel. Now watch this here. Verse 14. And beholding the men which had healed standing with them, they could say nothing against it. But when they had commanded them to go aside out of the council, they conferred among themselves. Why? Say, verse 16, saying, what shall we do to these men? For that indeed a noble miracle has been done by them, is manifested to all of them that dwell in Jerusalem, and we cannot deny it. So, want me to show you how ignorant they were? Now, you see what they're saying? They didn't like the way Peter and John were speaking. They looked at them as unlearned and ignorant. Only reason looking at them as to be is because of what? The miracles has been done by them. It's manifested to all of them that dwell in Jerusalem. And we cannot deny it. They're not going to deny the fact that the miracles and signs and wonders that they were doing. So it's what they saw. It's what they trust in. Not so much as what Peter and John were saying. Because why? They spoke, verse 13. Now, when they saw the boldness, see, they saw it. How, now, what do boldness look like? Think, y'all, just think. Boldness and the way Peter and John were speaking had to be in a way that causes individual to feel negative and against them, and to call them unlearned, and to call them ignorant. Why? Why did boldness bring them to the understanding that these are ignorant and unlearned men? Because they speak in boldness. See, Sister Deborah knows what she's talking about when she's on this Deborah platform. This is the mindset of people. And they don't think you know who they are. They don't think they're the ones that go to and fro. One day in, one day out. Those are the ones that's lost without a cause and ain't going to ever find their way. They don't know that, but that's what it is. Because they go to and fro. They don't know where their way is. And if y'all, hear me now, hear me. If y'all can bring a man 40 miles to speak to Sister Deborah in the store, do you think I give a rat's behind if I'm able to conquer anybody on here outside of that one? I'm not. I'm not even moved by making any messages that's going to touch anyone but that one. That's how y'all rumble. Always did. That's why he only gave Yeshua 12. Okay, so right here in John, and perceived that they were unlearned and ignorant men. Why? Because of the boldness. They saw the boldness. You see my eye? They saw the boldness. So John and Peter was looking like Sister Deborah when they was talking. Had to have, because it's something not that they heard, but he said they saw. You see, they saw. So if you saw them and you didn't like what you saw, and how do what you see have anything to do with what you heard? You see? See, I messed up from the floor. Okay, verse 13. Now, when they saw, how do you saw? You see, right? You see. So they seeing the boldness that Peter and John were stepping into, and proceed, they are unlearned and ignorant. So how you gonna see boldness and call them unlearned and ignorant? What do unlearned and ignorant has to do with what you're seeing? Unlearned and ignorant, I can see if it was something you heard, but you're saying you saw their boldness, and now you calling them unlearned and ignorant. See? And Sister Deborah knows what she's talking about. Let's go to Acts chapter 4 and verse 29. This is what you call hardcore spirit and truth, y'all. Hardcore spirit and truth. Acts chapter 4 and verse 29. And it reads, and now the Lord, behold their threatenings, and granted unto his servants that with all boldness they may speak the word. What's this boldness? Or are you thinking it's talking about Acts so and so, and it says so and so, so, and let's go to verse 10. It says so and so, 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 and it said, no. My actions, the way I conduct myself, is the way I'm feeling my Father. So if you ever know what the power was, then you'll feel it too. You to know that it ain't something, and then people are denying your Father's power and who he is. No, Sister Deborah ain't gonna go there. She's gonna be bold speaking. And that's why I'm gonna find, next time I come on, I'm gonna find that verse that said in the end, he's gonna send his bold speaker. He ain't playing. Because all this Mickey Mouse speaking that these people giving y'all, I know it's good for your flesh. You got enough food for your flesh. And you know what? We in the end days, and I believe it's finished, baby. So that's another reason why with Sister Deborah, and the way Sister Deborah speak bold, you might not get it, because you're in the end. Only one gonna get it is those that are marked. Okay. Now in 29 it says, and now the Lord, behold their threatenings, and granted unto thy servants that with all boldness they may speak the word. Now what is that? Connect the word with that boldness. And you think you're supposed to stand here and play with somebody. I ain't about to do it no more. And I did so much to do it, what you do is you find yourself trying to get along with people, trying to meet them where they at. And y'all say, babe, where are they at? Are they where I'm at, Deborah? Or are they where they at? You better come up out of there and continue your boldness. I heard your mouth way back when you was a teenager. Do you think the way you talking now is the way you talked then? Do you think right now at 62, I want you to stop the way that you've been speaking and the way I created you to speak? No, let them kick rocks and keep them going, because Satan gonna always pull up and be having some feeling and emotions all up and down. Okay, now let's go to verse 31. In the book of Acts chapter 4, you see this word boldness is really wanting them to understand. Step into that boldness, y'all. Okay, verse 31. Acts chapter 4, verse 31. And it reads, and when they had prayed, the place was shaken where they were assembling together. Now watch this here. And they were all filled with the Holy Ghost, and they spoke at the word of Yah. You hear that, y'all? The word of Yah. With what? With boldness. See here? with boldness. Did they speak what? The King James Bible? Is that what it says? Let's read that again. Acts chapter 4, verse 31. And when they had prayed, the place was shaken where they were assembly together, and they were all filled with the Ruach HaKodesh. And they spoke the word of Yah with boldness. Tell me what Bible they had. They didn't have now. So that's a treat to that one that I'm looking for. That one out there that I'm looking for, that's your treat right there. You just don't let it go over here now. That's your treat. That one, look at that again. That's a mystery. Not only is it a mystery, it's great power. Listen to what he said. Verse 31, Acts chapter 4, verse 31. And when they had prayed, the place was shaken where they were assembled together, and they were filled with the Ruach HaKodesh. And once they was filled, and they spoke the word of Yah. They did not have a Bible. They did not have a Bible. I know they'll tell y'all that. Why? They didn't need it. They had the Holy Spirit. They had the word of Yah, which is the Ruach HaKodesh. The pure word of Yah. And y'all running around here thinking because you got this book, you got the word of Yah. You ain't got nothing. Until that Ruach HaKodesh come to teach you the word of Yah. And how would he teach you? He would teach you and then show you where the instructions and directions lead you in the life of your flesh. But he is the word. And the word of Yah is not in a book. I know it. Y'all been taught to be broken. So right here it says, and they was filled with the Holy Spirit, and they spoke the word of Yah with boldness. You can't speak Yah's word without it. You can't go around teaching and preaching the word of Yah HaKodesh. And I like what it said. And what it said, with boldness. See, y'all don't want you to come here and be monkeying around with these people, lying to them, trying to make them feel good. Oh, don't say nothing to hurt their feelings, or they off your page. Unsubscribe to me. You should know me by now. I've been on here 5 years, and I think I can close down probably 6 times. I could give a rat's behind about some likes and subscribers. All I'm asking is that one that y'all says is out there. That's all I'm concerned about. That one. That's all I'm concerned about. Let's go to Ephesians. In Ephesians chapter 3, we on this here boldness. So if you want to have issues with the way Sister Deborah say things, you need to check with the one who created all things. And this boldness, he says, is mine. And that boldness is not somebody. Look how these ignorant ones sat there and called Peter and John unlearned and ignorant because the way they were speaking. They saw them speak. That shows you they wasn't listening to what they were saying. They just saw the way they acted. What could you see? Okay. He that is out there, that is that one. The fathers want you to know in that message, he's saying they saw the boldness. So the boldness is something you see. They saw the way they facial and the way they was reacting. That's what they saw. Like when you see Sister Deborah, she'd be like, and when that's what they saw out of Peter and John. And they say, oh, them some ignorant, unlearned men. You see? Because of what they saw. Not what they heard them say, but what they saw. The boldness. They saw boldness. And they just assumed they unlearned and ignorant. You get what I'm saying? Okay. Now, in Ephesians chapter 3 and verse 12. In Ephesians chapter 3 and verse 12, it says, in whom we have boldness and access with confidence by faith of him. By faith. But it says what? In whom we have the boldness. Yeah. In whom, Ephesians chapter 3 and verse 12, in whom we have boldness and access with confidence by the faith of him. Father, as long as you give me that one, I'll be okay. Philippians chapter 1, verse 20. Philippians chapter 1, verse 20. And it says, according to my earnesty expectation of my hope, that in nothing I shall be ashamed, but that with all boldness, as always. See that? Then you know, Deborah, you might be bold some days, but with boldness, it's me always. Okay? Okay. So now also Christ shall be magnified in my body, whether it be by life or by death. Why? Because listen to what he's saying. Listen to what he's saying. Philippians chapter 1 and verse 20. According to my earnest expectation and my hope, that in nothing I should be ashamed. Another thing is about boldness. It shows you ain't ashamed. I don't care about how I look. I don't care if I can have pronounced words. I don't care. I'm the richest person on the face of the earth. I am the elect of the Most High Yah. I am the servant of the Most High Yah, who owns all things. So you think I give the... Don't. So watch this here. And he says, I shall be... that in nothing shall I be ashamed, but that with all boldness, as always, so now also Christ shall be magnified in my body, whether it be by life, praise the mighty Yah, or by death. See, we run around here trying to look a certain way. We run around here trying to act a certain way. We run around here trying to be a certain way because this flesh of men and women telling us this is the way you got to rumble. This is the way you got to do it. This is the way you got to walk it. This is the way you got to talk it. Stand down, clowns. Okay, let's go to 1 Timothy. 1 Timothy. In the book of 1 Timothy, chapter 3. In the book of 1 Timothy, chapter 3, we're going to start with verse 13. In the book of Timothy, 1 Timothy, chapter 3, and verse 13. And it reads, for they that have used the office of a deacon. Wait a minute, I don't know if this is it. Wait a minute. Yeah, that's what it said. Well purchased to themselves a good degree and great boldness in the faith, which is in Christ Yeshua. Hamashiach Yeshua. See that power coming first? Because the power has to issue them the faith. And the faith makes them bold. You see? So he want to let you know that, in case you didn't know that. Christ is the power. It had to issue the faith, because the faith is what you given from Yah. Yah's power gave you belief. Righteous, belief, faith, fear, and righteous, belief, faith, and fear. That's what Christ does for you, in case you didn't know that. I know 99 point trillion don't. But in verse 13, 1 Timothy, verse 3, no, 1 Timothy chapter 3, verse 13. For they that have used the office of a deacon well purchased to themselves a good degree and great boldness. Look how they put great on in front of that boldness. In the faith, which is in. You see where that faith is in? The power of Hamashiach, Yeshua. Verse 14. These things write I unto thee, hoping to come unto thee shortly. Verse 15. But if I tarry long, that thou may know how thou ought to behave thyself in the house of Yah, which is the church of the living Yah, the pillar and the ground of truth. We run around here worshiping and serving these men and women like they some God. You should be sick of that old mess. Stuff been going on since the book of Genesis. So let's go here into verse, where is it at? No, 15. Let me go back to 15. But if I tarry long, that thou mayest knoweth how thou ought to behave thyself in the house of Yah, which is the church of the living Yah, the pillar and ground of truth. 13 was talking about the boldness. Take a hold of that. It didn't say to the deacons to take a little. He said great boldness. You have to. You have to. You have to. You have to make sure you stand as firm as Yah has called you to stand. He ain't coming to make you, trying to make you look good, trying to get you set aside different from the way everybody always trying to do it to deceive people. That's what they do it for. So they can deceive people. And they do I'm going to be honest, tell the truth. Shame the devil. They do a great job. But it's only given to them to do it to those that he has given them to believe. So we're going to John. We're going to John 1. 1 John chapter 4. 1 John chapter 4. 1 John chapter 4, verse 17. Herein is our love made perfect, that we may have boldness in the day of judgment. You see that? Because as he is, so are we in this world. You think Yah be down here playing with you? I don't think so. You ain't never heard nothing about Yeshua laughing and playing and joking. Because this part of life is serious. Everything else you can joke and play. But this here is serious. This is your eternal life we're talking about. And you too stupid to know what that is. That's on you. You want to play with the devil and play in the midnight hour? That's on you. It's finished in Yah. He the marked his. How you like him now? Now, in 1 John chapter 4 and verse 17, herein is our love made perfect, that we may be boldness in the day of what? Judgment. Now, who wants to be bold during that time? Those that Yah has appointed and anointed and predestined to, who have the keys, who are his true servants, who's not afraid of their faces, who is telling them spirit and truth while the light lead them all the way. I'm talking to that one. Okay. Last chapter is Acts. Oh, I did that one. So I don't have another one. So Sister Deborah, hope you got something out of it. I can say this. I wish that I could have given more insight about the man in the store, but that wasn't the topic. But I just wanted to just say to you all, if this is happening to me, and if the Yah is going to send those that is of his, I think that's what I prefer. I love that. Because it shows me that you can sit on this here devil platform and you can play with these people, and these people can think they playing a game, and because they thinking the same thing the church been doing. How do you think there's a church on every corner? How do you think all these pastors No one ever realized how many churches and how many pastors leading the whole world, leading all the people in these churches on every corner in the communities. Some of them on two or three churches on one corner. For real, that's real, y'all. They leading all these people straight into a ditch of darkness. So somebody has to be separate from what they said, and they have to be those that a higher has called. And I say to you and anybody out there that Yah has already called his bold ones to step forward. He don't want us to be afraid of their faces. And their faces mean people's feelings, people's emotions, people's personal opinion, people's way of thinking and feeling. He don't want you to be afraid of that. He wants you to speak bold and stand on that. And what I'm thinking is what I was thinking a couple of years ago. I said, what would be the reason why I would be able to see all this you showed me way back, even when I was a little girl, all the way up until, what would be the reason I to live to see this stuff? Oh, I can see some things, y'all. I ain't never told y'all. I've seen some things to come. You see, what would be the reason why I would live here, be still living on the things that were revealed to me back then, and still seeing them, living to see it? Because he ain't through with me yet. It has invested something so great in me, and I have owned that thing. I don't care if nobody have owned the words that comes out of my mouth and hasn't applied it to run their race. I don't care. It don't matter. Because when I seen people not supporting you, that told me more than anything. The Father got about 6 verses, Yeshua is telling them, build up your treasures on the earth. And then he tells them how it starts. Build up your treasures in the heaven. And he tell them how while they're on the earth. But who are feeding their flesh and have no respect. But then the Father told me, when he told me this, that made me realize it makes so much sense and it makes you feel so much better. And that is this. When they don't receive you, like in every chapter of this book, Deborah, they never received a prophet. Never, never, never. So don't be concerned if they don't receive you, because when they don't receive you, you know already they don't receive me. That is what you call assurance that he got you. That's that comforter comes to let you know. It ain't cause you going down the wrong road or you saying something that hurting feelings and more. Those are those who's going to go down that road anyway. They was just waiting for you to say something to make them go down that road. They was heading that road anyway. It's just a matter of time. Don't deal with them. Don't deal with them. Today, earlier, when I was ministering to another person, it came to me. You own here and you giving them what I give you, but you don't have to give them nothing. Because just like I told you, it's finished for them too. Let them get it somewhere else. And when he said that, I had to relay it to the person that I was talking to. Because only reason why I had to relay it, I had to relay it because the individual was saying something that made me bring that up, what Father had said to me. I don't have to be on this devil platform. I'm giving the pure, adulterated word that proceeds out of the mouth of Yah in spirit and in truth, walking strictly in the light. I don't have to be on this devil platform. But I tell you what, if the Father is giving me the ability to run that race, to run in that lane, which is a race, a journey, I'm going to run in it, running with that one that he has put in my lane. Praise the mighty Yah. So Sister Deborah said, I hope you got something out of it. But I too say, shalom and shalom.